Hello everyone, welcome back to another stream. I know it has been a bit. The holidays have been pretty busy, and so I've been working on a couple of different projects, but I am glad to be able to have a little bit of time to jump into Snap. This is actually one of the slower infinites that I've hit. Typically I'm infinite day 1, maybe day 2, but I wasn't feeling pushing it for a grind, so I figured I'd save it for when we were live. And so we will let you guys trickle in. But as you guys are trickling in, we will, let's see. I'll pull up the deck that we're going to be using today. At least for the start of the climb. If it doesn't work, then we'll pivot, but at least for now. For the start of the climb, we are going to be using an Iron Patriot, just a Wiccan deck. I think Wiccan, almost frustratingly so, has been very strong for a very long time. And it feels like it outvalues everything else that's out there. And then Angel with the resub. Welcome in, Angel. Hello, my dear favorite streamer. Your lost and forgotten mod found its way back. Welcome back, Angel. Hopefully everything is going well. Did I see that you were streaming a few days ago? If so, congratulations on taking the jump. Hopefully you're enjoying it. And then Isaiah, welcome in as well. Hopefully you're having a good day. So as we have people start filtering in, right now I'm ranked 77, so we should be able to climb quite a bit. I think we'll still see a fair amount of bots until about mid 80s to 90. So I don't think the climb should be too bad. And then Gibdo, welcome in. Hopefully you're having a great one so far. I need to buy a new set of headphones. It's gonna bother me. So the holder for this kind of just snapped whenever I laid it down the other day. Me? No, I'm busy with work, struggling to survive the winter. Oh, and eventually got sick with COVID. Oh no, Angel, that is rough. Hopefully you've recovered. Hopefully you've recovered a bit, and hopefully the restaurant's doing decently. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and let a set of ads run as we continue to filter in, but that way I can jump into a few games. We'll disable pre-rolls. So we're going to jump over into a minute and a half, and then we'll be right back, you guys. It's rough out here, but how's it going on your side? Didn't you stream for a bit, or did I just miss some stuff? No, I haven't streamed in... It's been a minute since I've streamed. With the holidays, there was one just, visiting family and trying to juggle videos for Snap and Pocket. And then on top of the holidays, but we did some traveling to visit some friends and family, and it's been kind of tough. Because my dad passed around the holidays, and so it's been really, really kind of tough to push through that. And so there was a little bit of a lull on my end, but we're working through it. I felt like I needed to take a little bit of time to just enjoy the family rather than feeling like I was trying to push too much. And so I didn't want to push for like a burnout. So I figured I'd take a step back for just a little bit. But we're back. We're on full throttle. So we have a couple of streams. So today, tomorrow, and then I think Monday as well, I'll be streaming. And then that should lead us into, I think, drops. So we'll be, the next couple of weeks we'll be very heavy with streams. And then Boosty, welcome in. Hopefully you're having a great one so far. So the ads should be over. Let's go ahead and jump over and climb a little bit. Old Grits, good on you. Yeah, so the last time I tried to just like power through, and I didn't take the time that I needed to, and it eventually led to me feeling like entirely burnt out. And and that's when I took the 6 months downtime that I didn't mean to take, and so I wanted to kind of get ahead of it this time rather than try to just force through it. All right, let's go ahead and start the spot. Yeah, I got a bot to start it off. yeah, we had some good holidays. I got my son a I don't know if you guys know about it, but the MetaQuest. I got him a MetaQuest, and he has been absolutely enjoying it. I had a Vive whenever VR first came out, and it was too much of a hassle to hook up and make sure it was tethered to a PC, and then to have like the mounted sensors was pretty cumbersome. So the MetaQuest was like right up his alley, because then it's wireless. You have the pass through. Super cool. Hopefully you guys had a good holiday as well. Do you not get bots when you're high enough? It depends. So the bots are largely tied to your MMR, not necessarily like directly to your rank. But for me, typically around like mid 80s, I stopped seeing bots almost altogether. But that's also whenever I was pushing to finish my climb in about a day, and so it'll be a little bit different this time. I think we might see a few more bots up to around like high 80s. But it really depends on like your overall MMR, which is like a hidden number behind the matchmaking. 70 is filled with bots, 88 gets rarer, and then 90 is nearly extinct. Yeah, for a lot of people, that's exactly how it kind of plays out. So I want to do, I think, Rocket and Groot here. That way we can move it and then fill this one later. We could also go Wiccan if we thought we would win this one, but I think we might need to invest a little bit further into it. I found when I had a slower climb last season, there were even more bots and more players who haven't hit infinite. Yeah, I think the longer it takes you to hit infinite, the more bots you're likely to see. Would make the most sense to me. Definitely a bot play. We have Claw over in the far right lane. Let's do a Sasquatch. Hold on. Let's move the Rocket into like a Galacta, Sasquatch, Hydrobob. And then Uck, a long time no see. How are you? I'm doing well. I'm excited to be able to be back and do some streaming. I expect them to be a little bit slower, but the next probably week or two, we're gonna go pretty heavily on the streams. I've been missing being able to interact with you guys. Last season, I had a bot every 3 games in the 90s. Whoa, cold grits. I guess it also depends a bit on maybe the player base overall. So if we're having less players that are actively pushing to climb to that infinite rank, we might see more bots. I've had Wiccan pin for over a month now. Can't seem to pull the trigger. Wiccan is one of those that I think it's definitely the best value card in the game. I think it's makes one of the best decks in the game, and I think it has for a little while now. Wait for the over there. That's what I said about Bob last time, and then they changed like next to nothing. We do have an over the air next week though, and so maybe since it's been a month gap, there will be some big shakeups, but we don't know for sure. And so I would say if you're close to pulling the trigger, definitely wait about a week just to make sure, and then if they don't change it, go ahead and jump. All right, we have a real person this time. Let's go ahead and start pretty heavily into the Eternity range. We got a, what's an ATT?
Breaking news.
Ask the team. We're gonna ask the team where Glenn hinted that Bob could be a target. Yeah, honestly, I would hope that Bob is a target. Bob he's super flexible. Like he's a 1/5 that a lot of times you can use his snap tech to get into like harder to reach locations. It's supposed to be a little bit of a downside, which would make up for his higher base power, but for the most part, I've found that it's honestly not that big of a downgrade. So do we try to fight for? No, there's no way that we compete in this right lane and stop them from getting the discount. So I think instead we'll just go something like Luke Cage. And then Hydrate King, welcome in. Hopefully you're having a great one. They have their Gwynpool. Plus their Iron Patriot, which gets a little bit scary depending on what they pulled. Let's go ahead and go, I think, Wiccan here. Because they have 3 cards stacked in this lane, it becomes a little bit easier, I think, to potentially overpower. As long as we stack some decent stuff there now. Hydra King, hopefully you're doing well. I had bots during my climb, was very smooth climbing for me. I'm thinking we might have less people actively climbing. I've heard a couple of people say that this was the first season where they decided to not even buy the season pass. And so I think we might feel that a little bit in the climb as well. All right, let's go Gwynpool, Rocket, and then we'll see from there. We have to remember that they have a discounted Iron Patriot card as well. Hydra Bob, no escape from this generic card. You could do just a general other good value, but the idea with Hydra Bob is that we pressure the Iron Patriot lane pretty heavily. And then Hydra King with the Hydrate. I appreciate you. Same, I've barely played this season. Yeah, almost every season except for this one, I've been Infinite day 1, day 2. This season, I didn't have the urge to like grind it out, and so I was just enjoying some downtime instead. So we can go Misery, we get rid of the Acid Arrow, we go maybe a big Ultron, move the Rocket, do a Zabu here. That leaves 3 spaces for the Ultron bots, which are going to be 5 power. So 15 plus the 8. It's a pretty big. We probably should have snapped this. We have a really big, like, finishing turn. Ultron left for DC. Yeah. I agree, Angel. I know Snap has been weird with the drama, but I'm glad you're still full-time streaming. I love the Pokemon Pocket channel as well, or the Pokemon channel as well. And so, yeah, the streaming numbers on Snap have been super strange outside of like drops, because that obviously incentivizes a lot of additional viewership. And honestly, I've been enjoying playing Marvel Rivals in my downtime, and so that's taken up a little bit of a chunk as well. But it's not something that I think I would really do well with on stream. I know Dara's streaming it right now, and I think he's holding a couple hundred people, and he's up to like almost GM. I'm just in like high gold, low plat is where I've been hovering. Are people waiting to see if Snap makes changes soon, or just game slowing down? I feel like a lot of people have been waiting for changes, and it's just they've been waiting so long that other games finally came out that has kind of piqued their interest. And so I think the game is slowing down, but if we have some kind of good change or shakeup, I think it can still be recovered. But it's one of those things that if nothing like meaningful changes, I don't know that we see it turn around. Transition to become a variety streamer. Variety streamer would be cool. Because I enjoyed like all genres of games. But building up that viewer base, I think would be tough, because it would be a pretty big hit for a while. Made it to gold 1 last day of the season. Nice, Angel. I've been I guess not one tricking. I pretty much fill every time I'm in a lobby. And so I just wait until the last second to see what the team comp is. Most of the time that means I go like tank or strategist. And Georgia, I'm taking this season kind of casually. Still pushing it for infinite, but no rush. Yeah. Yep, I agree. Both new cards are decent. They're not bad cards. I think Iron Patriot has a lot more value just because of the like randomness that it brings. And the hefty discount on the card. But I don't think that Victoria Hand is a bad card. It's just I think she's a little more situational where she like makes that big impact. And then Duat, you said I'm just suffering? Wait, what are you suffering from, Duat? And then Chase UNC, thank you so much for resubbing with your Prime for 7 months. Glad to see you back. I'm glad to be back. Hopefully you're having a great one, Chase. So we can do something like Zabu Psylocke. Or maybe it's Psylocke. No, not Zabu. Maybe it's Psylocke Acid Arrow. To make sure we don't lose the Eternity range. Vic is a great niche card. Yeah. Yeah, I think she's very decent. But I find that I try to get really greedy with her and like Moon Girl. I don't know that I care for like the Maria Hill like full-on generation. But I just haven't found something that just feels incredibly solid for me. All right, let's go Gwynpool into... we'll do Maria Hill. We'll send them the Maria Hill in mid. RNG on Snap, don't like me on the most recent weeks? Yeah. Yeah, and it feels like a lot more of the Snap cards are going heavy into RNG, which I don't necessarily care for as much as, like, outplaying or outpositioning or outthinking the opponent. Which I think has also kind of led to it, because we've had a string of just kind of unfortunate card releases. We had Arsham, which I think kind of started the like heavy feel of just RNG bonanza. Have you tried Iron Patriot and Clog yet? I haven't. Is it good in Clog? Mainly, I've been trying it in like either something that runs like good early value, because a lot of times with Clog, I don't feel like I win a lane early enough, but it could encourage them to play there, and then we could kind of fulfill them after that. There are now averages 400 to 600. Dexter barely 1,000 viewers as well. Yeah, makes me sad for Snap. Love the game. Yeah, hopefully. So I don't think all hope is lost. I think they really need to kind of take a look at it and think about like why we're seeing the attrition. Like, yes, part of it is because other games are coming out, and so some people are like checking out those other games. But for me personally, it feels like when I get on Snap, a lot of times it feels like almost I'm doing it because I have to not get behind. Rather than logging on because I want to check out like this new card or check out this new thing. It feels like it's more maintenance than anything. It takes basically 3 turns to set up Iron Patriot. Yeah. It's very strong. But the fact that you could get a like a null where it's going to be a 0 power card, I think it's strong. But it leans more heavily into like that heavy RNG as well. It's a perfect storm. The holidays, dev team away, no over the airs for a month, the whole series drop. Plus Pocket coming in with that mini set and Marvel Rivals kind of stealing some of the thunder as well. Yeah, I think it's I think you're right. I think it's a perfect storm. So I think we go Galacta into Pim Arrow here. We'll buff this one up so that we can win that one. I don't think they're going to be able to win this far right lane with just 1 buff onto the Doombot. So I think we should be fine with this. I'm in high hopes that the Q1 drop will bring some great stuff. I think so. I think they have to find a way to address it in some way, shape, or form. Because if not, I think we continue to see like players a trid out, which I think is natural for a game, but for the early game players, it's hard for them to get in and get caught up. And so I think we need to see some kind of overhaul in general for the card acquisition. But I do agree that the holiday break, along with like the long gaps in between over the airs, which I think is what always kept Snap really interesting for me. It kept the meta really shifting. The last several months of over the airs have felt very kind of toe the water. It felt like it hasn't really shook things up. It hasn't brought like anything that was underperforming up to like a really interesting stance. And so it feels like it's been a lot of like kind of maintain a few of the like outliers, but for the most part, just keep it safe. And so it feels like the meta has really stayed about the same for several months now. And on the YouTube side, do we think new drops or card acquisition will be this month, since Dakin is in the season pass this month? I don't know. I know that it's been something that they've been looking at and working on. Hopefully they're, but we continue to hear like soon. So hopefully it is soon. Hopefully it's getting close. Put into Iron Patriot into Viper was the original idea. I like that. It's still like it, and it encourages them to clog it up a little bit on their end as well. I think it's kind of nice. So we could do Iron Patriot into Eternity range, but I think we're both going to be fighting for this lane. I think I'm going to play it into the far right. The Victoria hand, or the Victoria is a good progress bringing Dino back. Dino is definitely interesting. That's what I was playing with when I climbed from about 70 to 77. And that's what I was playing, and I enjoyed it quite a bit. But having Dino feel like decently competitive, I think is a good stepping stone for sure. Yeah, Doom 2099. I don't mind Doom 2099. Like there's some cards that have been released where it just feels like they probably should have never made it out of testing. But Doom 2099, I think, is one that it has a really consistent like mid-range power if you get it on curve. Yeah, we have the free thing as well. It's really consistent power if you get it on a curve, but it's very limited on how high it can go. And so I think it's a very beatable deck for sure. They have the Mr. Negative. Thinking if we can find a last turn Goliath would be good. That might be our only chance at heavily impacting. We don't want to do Luke Cage because they have the Super Scroll, so they would gain back any negative affliction from a rocket. Let's do a couple of these. That way we can still draw. We're hoping for Goliath. If not, we'll try to figure it out. 299 is a space stealer. Yep. Yep, that's his biggest like drawback or downside, is that he takes up so much board space. He offers a lot of impact. Ooh, we do get the Goliath. He offers an awful lot of impact, but he's stealing the very precious board space. So if they go Gore, it would probably be here. If they go Mystique to copy the Iron Man, it's probably here. I think this is what we shoot for. Thing's been removed from Spotlight caches. It's probably good. It's probably for the best. I'm happy about Phoenix Force, especially with Nimrod. 2 combo cards I want. Wait, is Phoenix Force being offered soon? Is that like in one of the spotlights? Yeah, I think Clog is in a decent spot. I've been seeing a little bit less Doom 2099, but with like Iron Patriot, typically by turn 3, we're seeing an opponent 3-stack in a lane to try to make sure that they get the Iron Patriot value. And so then all it takes is a debris and you tap them out in that lane. That was really weak, Mr. Negative. Yeah. Yeah, they didn't have a great final turn, and they didn't have the Jane Foster to be able to pull the rest out either. I got Victoria and Kate Bishop from the reserves in GM. Oh, is Grandmaster worth it? Sorry. Grandmaster is very situational. Like, there's some times where he feels decent, but I feel like he can always be, or almost always be, replaced for something else. And so I would personally probably pass on it. But there's some interesting applications with Grandmaster and like a discard deck, or Grandmaster in like Clutter. It just doesn't feel like it's always consistent enough for me to warrant an extra key. I do see a lot of Iron Patriot plus Juggernaut. That's true. Yeah, Iron Patriot plus Juggernaut to push them out allows you to win it with just the 2 cards most of the time. Definitely not bad.
Victory.
Phoenix Force is the last cache next month. Ooh, nice. I haven't looked ahead at the like all of the extras in the caches. The only thing that I'm missing now at this point is Bruce Banner. That's because I intentionally skipped him, because he just felt like a super unimpactful card that was not gonna make waves or appearances at all. Yeah, I'm I'm not. I don't own him, but I'm not missing him, I guess. The only one that I didn't even care to pull for. Yeah, and then if you haven't gotten the random, if you can hold off next patch, which is going to be next Tuesday, I think it's the 14th. The next patch will change the like dupe protection, or the dupe cache, from 1,000 tokens to 2,000. And so if you can hold off on spending too many keys until then, it might. It's not great, but it's a third of a brand new card. I think it's a good step in the right direction. They said that it's not a final fix, it's just a band-aid for now. At least it's something. Should just have dupe protection. Yeah, if we had dupe protection, there would be, it would be a lot cheaper to acquire all the cards, which I think they're very scared of. Oh, what am I doing? I thought this was the one that pulled 3 and 4 cost cards over to it. Oh, well. Good thing we're going against a bot, because we are absolutely throwing. So we just go as big as we can in that left lane. Happy New Year, beardless TLSG. Welcome in, Pablo. Hopefully you had some good holidays. Hopefully your new year went well. And yeah, my daughter likes it much better whenever I shave, so I've been trying to do a better job of keeping it shaved. New players would be much happier. I feel like even then, like, to get to the part where you need the dupe protection, it takes a while. So I'm not even sure if that fully fixes things or not. Still eating leftovers. I've actually tried to start eating a bit healthier, because the holidays you're traveling, and so then you're just eating all of the like sweets and the holiday meals, and so I've tried to make a bit of a change. And then Bozo, welcome in. Hopefully you're having a great one so far. Oh, we actually have enough to just naturally play out the death. Then I think we do Hydra Bob here, because with the snap, it hops over into mid. Playing death with no destroys, yeah. And no cost reduction. Yeah, we were just able to luckily get it. Ooh, that Odin onto the Jubilee is scary. Even if they got an Infinite, we'd still beat it, right? I guess not, with Hydra Bob hopping out. But we will take it. You said it doesn't take that long. I have a third of Series 4 and half of Series 5. Both times I've had to use 4 keys, I hit dupes. Are you talking about like from a new player standpoint? Getting up through Series 3 with Series 3 continuing to grow, I think becomes more of the issue or the problem. And then on the YouTube side, she said, just seems weird to have a S4 card in the past. Yeah, I agree. And at one point I thought they were going to replace it. And so we don't know. I'm not sure what it means. Club beats. Let's do Zabu. We can go Iron Patriot and then Rocket. And then what's a good Hydra Bob replacement? I didn't expect Bob to see so much play. Yeah, me neither. His release was super lackluster. I don't know that I saw a single person that was big on Hydra Bob. And so really any other like good tempo, good value one cost, because the idea is we can throw like the Hydra Bob into the Iron Patriot to make sure that we have like that pressure in that lane. And he did drop after Arsham. So Arsham was this like a really big impactful card. And then after that we had it was a 1-4, which even at 1-5 I didn't think he was going to be great. And then he just slowly worked his way into those Hydra or those value builds. Silver Sable was better, and then she got brought down. Taking 1 point really hurt her quite a bit. I think we go ahead and full send this right lane. We get the extra energy. We can move the Rocket and Groot. And with priority, if they try to fill this one as well, our Rocket and Groot will scale. Nocturne could ruin your day.
Wind, aid my hand.
What, by moving out of the Eternity range? We have the 3 extra energy. So we could do 6 plus Iron Patriot. I think we leave this for now. And just do the Galacta. As far as getting the extra energy, I think actually, I don't know which order that would happen in. Location happens first, and then it would change. So we would still get the energy even if they changed it. And even without the extra energy, I think it'd be okay. I've been holding caches since they announced the changes. They also at one point said that if they ever changed the caches, they wouldn't do it proactively. I think it was to encourage people to open their caches, like as they got them. But who knows? I still miss Hydra Bob original text that leaked. Club, what was the original Hydra Bob text? Ooh, wait. They move this over, it's 9. We just scooch over a Hydra Bob. We should be good. And then we'll do like a big Goliath. So Rocket and Groot, I think he's a super solid role player. I think he'll find himself in a lot of decks. I don't think he just dominates anything that he's in, but I think he's a very good, just like value card to have. Kind of like the original Nocturne, except for his threat is just a little bit different. And honestly, you have a little bit better RNG because it's not as heavy on the RNG of that location change. He's like Nocturne on release. I agree. I agree, except for he can't be like a magic counter. He can't change those really unfortunate locations, but he's also not going to stab you in the back with the bad RNG either. Let's go Maria Hill over to the right. Want to snooze the next ad? Yeah, we'll go ahead and snooze it. So we have Maria, we have Valentina. Let's go Iron Patriot. We can then follow it up with a Rocket and Groot. I think that'll be enough to hold down the Iron Patriot lane. Go ahead and snap it.
Victory.
And then Zoro, good afternoon, sir. At least for me. It was a fast and easy climb to Infinite this season with Thena Havoc. Super reliable and super powerful. I was slapping around hand decks. Yeah, Thena Havoc. Did you use US Agent in it? Because I think US Agent is like super strong right now. And so I think I was thinking of doing like a low to the ground Thena Havoc, maybe even throw in like a rocket. Victoria doesn't blow my skirt up for sure. I'm skipping her and gonna wait for Moonstone or Bullseye. Yeah, I think Victoria Hand is like she's not a bad card by any means. I think she gets a lot of value, especially for her 2-cost slot. It just does the archetype that she promotes. Is it competitive enough with the other things that we have to make it worthwhile? Spotlight Moonstone. Yeah, I'm looking forward to Moonstone. I dropped cast for Guardian and ran US Agent as well. Yeah, US Agent and Red Guardian. I think Red Guardian, especially against like the discard stuff, will be really, really big. So we get an Iron Patriot of our own, but I think we need to put the pressure here. The only problem with Galacta and the Nexus is we will want to be playing into the Nexus afterwards. So I think we just sacrifice it. We play Galacta over into the Eternity range. They Rocket and Groot in the Eternity range to be able to grab the lead there. Had we played the Nexus, we would have had the lead on him. Oh well. Go Rocket and Groot plus Zabu. And then flopped. Thank you so much for resubbing with your Prime sub for 6 months. Very much appreciate having you here. Hopefully you're having a great one. I'm just enjoying being top 500 for a day or two. I feel like so I normally push pretty hard to hit Infinite like day 1, day 2. And I feel like the climb has been a lot almost easier this season so far. So we have to be careful if they rip away the Nexus. So I don't because they could have Reality Stone. I don't know if I really want to fulfill the Eternity range or not. We can always do this into like an Alioth next turn if they're saving the Reality Stone for the last turn of the game. Flopped for the best. Thank you so much, Flopped. I'm glad to have you here. I need to get a new pair of headphones. This is bugging me. The only problem is we have to move Rocket and Groot out to be able to hit him with the Alioth. Probably should have Luke Caged over to the left. Let's go ahead and give it a shot. I'm not going to snap it. Had we had the Luke Cage to the left and been able to keep Rocket and Groot here, I think it's a definite snap. But since I played the Luke filled that lane, I think we just roll it for the 1. Might have missed it, but what do you think about Victoria Mono? Victoria Hand? I'm enjoying Victoria Hand. I think she's good value for a 2 cost. You get a lot of impact out of her. I think the issue is, does it make those decks good enough to be able to hold up? Ooh, yeah, we definitely lose that. Oof. If we had the extra, what, 1, 2, 3... No, it'd be an extra 4 plus an extra 10. Yeah. Because this would have been an extra 3 on both sides. So a -3 on theirs, plus 3 on ours. Yeah. The biggest mistake there was playing the loot cage. Yeah, I like Victoria Hand. But I think it gives Dino a little bit of relevancy. But it's just a matter of figuring out if it makes it competitive enough to hold its own against things like Wiccan, Ajax, or Super Scroll Negative. See if it's able to like hold its own again. But I think it's very fun. I've also been enjoying Victoria Hand in like more of a like Moon Girl oriented deck, because sometimes you can double up on the Victoria Hand, so all of your hand generated cards are +4. So you can get some interesting value from it that way. And then, yeah, we are going to take a quick ad break, and then I'm going to go ahead and jump back in since we're trying to climb, but at least she makes the deck playable. Yep. Yeah, I think she's definitely something like Scream, but for like the shield card generation decks. I definitely think Iron Patriot is the more flexible of the two. And even his, I think, is within reason. I think we've had much stronger Season Pass cards in the past. Need to check if you close early tonight. Oh. Hopefully you start feeling better soon, Angel. If Iron Patriot becomes a problem, Hydra Bob will eat the first nerf. I feel like I know Angel referenced an ask the team a little bit earlier, where Glenn mentioned that Hydra Bob could be on the chopping blocks. But I feel like if Iron Patriot performs too well, that we just start seeing a lot more Mobius kind of rise up. It's a bot, right? Yeah. But between the Wiccan plus the Superflow, we have loads of energy. I think we go Iron Patriot plus Rocket. And then Zachary. Hey, TLSG, haven't seen you in a bit. Dude, Iron Patriot seems so strong. Him and Anti-Venom are so strong together. What, for just like a massive like discount so that you can flood a lot on the last turn? What happened to the beard? It's cold out. My daughter likes it whenever I shave. I didn't realize how much she enjoyed it until I shaved the last time, and she was so ecstatic. And so I have been trying to keep it a little bit shorter for her. And I kind of like the cold, and so the cold doesn't really bother me too much. And then Clubs, you said when Moonstone drops, I want to try a Victoria Hand Mystique Moonstone combo with everything else getting massive. Yeah, I think Moonstone will be a pretty interesting card to experiment with. And then Alchemist, welcome in. Hopefully you're having a great one. Hopefully you had some good holidays. Hopefully your new year went well as well. The cold never bothered me anyways. Sometimes it does, but I'll channel my inner Elsa for it. I think we can save the Jubilee, right? Something like this. Even if we get Eliath, we can do Jubilee plus the Eliath and be fine. I guess Santa did not bring you a new set of headphones. Yeah, no. No, it did not. I need to buy a new set. This pair has lasted me for, I want to say, about 8 years. It's honestly time that I got a new one. But I just need to get around to actually doing it. All right, so they open up a space in this left lane. So something like Jubilee plus whatever we pull, the grapple plus Eliath. Be good. So 8 years, you should actually get a sponsorship with that brand. Yeah, so it's an, I think it's an Audio-Technica. Audio-Technica. And it's not necessarily a like gaming headset. It's more so for like music and audio, but it's lasted me very, very long time. So this set has lasted me through, I think, about 4 or 5 moves. My wife told me she'd leave me if I shaved, and my 4-year-old liked to tug on my goatee. So I feel like when I have a beard, I scare people instead, like scare kids. And so like they definitely enjoy it when I'm shaved a little bit better. I have the same set, very solid, also lasts me for years. Yeah, and this one, like the only thing that I don't know how it happened. I laid it down after playing, laid it down on the desk, and I came back and it was cracked. And so it would definitely be something that I would buy another pair for. And then Cho, welcome in. Hopefully you had some great holidays. Glad that you could jump back in and join us. And I did enjoy the holidays. Had a lot of kind of family time and made sure to be able to be focused and present on enjoying that time with them. Bayer Dynamic DT 990 Pros. So I guess is it like a comfort thing? Then Pablo, what are they, around 100? For the headset? Yeah, I think the headset was, I actually think when I bought them, it was just under 100. Comfort and sound. I'm definitely going to be in the market for a new pair. So it might be a set that I check out to see. I guess we're going to do this. I don't want to buff the Acid Arrow, so I'm just going to wait until next turn. I'm also a little bit afraid that they have a little bit more junk, and so I want to make sure that Rocket is in Great Web so I can eventually move him out into a different lane. That feels so good to play. They just need to fix the card acquisition. I think a much healthier card acquisition system would help make it much more new player friendly to get back in and be competitive rather than hitting infinite and just getting absolutely rolled. We could do Acid Arrow. Oh wait, we still don't want to do Acid Arrow first. If that's the case. We could do this. We could also do Hydra Bob in Asgard so that it fills this lane and then jumps over to the right. I think is something that I'd rather do. We keep a lot of power in this left lane. We have the flexibility here, and we can impact all of them. Acid second, yeah. The acid second would if we were going acid, definitely want to acid second, so we don't send them a 0 power acid arrow. We dodge the Viper. So what? A cannonball? Cannonball plus... I guess they didn't do... Have to be a 1-cost card. And if so, this... I guess Hydra Bob would pop over into mid. That is why Bob is so good. I'm so worried about the next patch over there. Yeah, I agree. I think Bob is really good just from that flexibility standpoint that he offers. Yeah, cannonball. Oh no! The Great Web. I forgot about Great Web pulling something into mid. That could have been bad. But I'm glad we were able to hold it down anyways. Oof. I completely forgot about it pulling something last turn. But no, I agree. Hydra Bob is super flexible in just his application. Being able to like protect a lane and then still move it out later. Gives it a kind of like a Nocturne, Jeff, Rocket flexibility. You just have to kind of play around with it with your snap. But as long as you kind of hold your snap for timing it well, I think his value is insane. I think we'll probably see a Hydra Bob nerf. I was actually kind of surprised that we didn't see a Hydra Bob nerf on the last patch. Because he's been super relevant for a while. I mean, most people agree the actual gameplay is good. It's just everything else besides that. Yeah, it's the monetization model feels really bad. Do we risk the acid arrow? It feels very heavily pushed towards getting people to spend a lot to be able to make that progress. I think we rocket into the Madam Web lane. We give it a turn for the acid arrow because I think if they play one, they'll play it in Space Throne. This no, nothing. Okay. We have prio, they can move. Yeah. Yeah. We're gonna try it. We're gonna try it this time. It might backfire on us. I'm just hoping we can catch them off guard with it. Seems no different than the vast majority of mobile games to me. They don't want you to spend money, more money than you should. For me, it feels like Snap has started where it wasn't as heavily geared towards spend on all of these bundles and spend on all of these things. And then just slowly but surely, it feels like that has kind of trickled in to where it feels like every... So I guess my biggest divide that I would like, I agree. I think the monetization is very similar to other like mobile games. My biggest divide is it seems like a lot of times other games will have updates that don't feel purely designed for just the monetization standpoint, just something like modes and things that I think in general are like fun or a little bit different. It feels like the last couple of months, everything that's been pushed for Snap feels like it's really prioritized spend a little bit extra or spend on something extra and get something different. What would you recommend as a good replacement for Hydra Bob? Any other one cost that's just a good tempo. Because the idea with Hydra Bob is that you want to be able to curve it from 1 into 2 for your Iron Patriot to make sure that you win that lane. And then Zora, you said, I'm kind of surprised how hard Pokemon Pocket fell off. I haven't done anything but open pack since November. No ranked mode kind of makes it pointless to play the game. There is supposed to be a new set release. And then we're also looking at, I know that they said trading and other things are going to be coming to the game. It's just a matter of when those get implemented.
Victory.
Pokemon or Pocket was supposed to be the game to show up Snap and twist their arms. Now it's a relevant game, basically. I think there's still a lot of people playing Pocket. I still play Pocket. There's still a pretty big tournament scene where each weekly tournament we're having 2,000 plus people sign up to enter. I think a lot of Pocket is being driven by it having or being a big IP. And then I think we'll have to see some of the other features. I think a lot of what they're doing is really nice. Like there's constant little events, but I agree. Like I personally like some kind of ranked or something to drive me to continue playing matches even after I've experimented with all the new cards. Something to kind of keep me coming back. Right now it's just I open packs and close it out most days, unless I'm feeling like I just want to experiment a little bit.
Epic.
I can only open packs. The current decks bore me. I feel like as we get more cards, maybe that'll change. And there's a decent amount of variety, depending on like what your collection looks like. I've enjoyed the Gyarados deck. I've enjoyed fighting being pretty relevant. So an Aerodactyl, Mankey fighting like Marshadow is actually really, really strong. But I think Mewtwo and Pikachu and all of the common decks we've had since the game launched are also still very, very strong and very, very common. Like the new look, haven't seen you in a while. The Rainmaker, welcome in. Hopefully you're having a great day. Hopefully your holidays went well. Glad to see you here. Love playing Pocket and Snap. They scratch different itches. I agree, Rob. Like the gameplay for Pocket is definitely not as like almost addicting. I know when Snap came out, I was wanting to play Snap like every waking moment. But Pocket is one that I really like building the decks. Right now it seems a little bit limited with like a pretty low number of support and trainer cards. And I think as we see like a wider variety of those, we'll be able to see a lot more variety in like decks that are being built and decks that are viable. Gwynpool from Iron Patriot is huge if we can get the payoff from it. I think we try the Wiccan here. The Guardians would be a good idea for a follow-up to the Iron Patriot. I think typically they're okay, but in general they're kind of bad cards. Like the curve of those cards is usually not as big or impactful. And so it didn't feel worthwhile to build a deck for those games where, like, if I didn't get Iron Patriot, would I want to be running like a Star-Lord? Would I want to be running, what's the 3-cost one? Drax is 4. What's the 3-cost one? Drawing a blank. Oh, Groot. Because it's only going to be 7 power for the 3-cost. And so it didn't feel worth it to like run on those off chances that you don't hit it. Groot, thank you. Camera died? No way, did it really? Yeah, did. It shouldn't be overheating. I'm going to turn on my fan. I think the heat from the back of the PC heats up my camera a lot. So I'm going to turn on the fan real fast, and then I'll turn it back on. It's just fun to say Rocket and Groot. Or Rocket and Groot. And all of my stuff is breaking. We have the camera that's overheating. We have the headset that's all busted. We're in shambles, you guys. And then Zahn, welcome in. I see you lost the fight with your headphones. I did. I absolutely lost the fight with my headphones. And it happened after playing Marvel Rivals, which you might think I got angry and stormed away. And I was, but no, I was playing a game. I got done with my session. I took them off, put them down, and came back, and it was cracked. How's the list going for you? Sucks not have Hydration Bob or Robert now, even though I think he's going to get nerfed in the next over there. I definitely wouldn't pull the trigger on him now. He has been super relevant, like overly relevant for a little too long now. I was honestly surprised he didn't get nerfed in the last over there. I watched Guardians 3 again earlier. So sad to see how trash they are in this game. I do like a good Guardians deck, and I would like the idea that Guardians were strong, but I agree. In this game, they've never been super relevant. Like there's been a couple of times where they could get wins, but never just like dominate. I think Rocket is the most played just because it's like the cheapest version. You said the ATs have weak plastic holders. I had the same problem and just stick it together with glue. I probably need to. Like the whole thing like right here snapped. But it's been... Gonna lose a draw. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, we'll lose a draw. And so the boss, I probably need to do glue. I did duct tape, but that's not like holding it snug, and so it just kind of like flops out there. I'm gonna go ahead and play. Oh, okay. Well, I was gonna say we'll play Wiccan to make sure we get the free Shuri, but we get a retreat anyways. Duct tape doesn't cut it. Yeah. Yep, duct tape does not cut. Is not cutting it. Like it's not holding it at all. When's the next patch? The next patch is on the 14th, and I think there's an over there shortly after that. I tried hot glue. I tried hot glue gun and was good for about 2 days. Like I may have to break down and just buy a new pair. But this one has lasted me for at least 8 years, and when I traveled for work, when I worked at Amazon, and I traveled from like warehouse to warehouse or building to building, these came with me. I packed a gaming laptop for my downtime, and these traveled with me everywhere. All right, let's go ahead and go Psylocke. And then Zahn, you said I deleted Rivals yesterday. Either that or me ending up in the hospital with my fist through the TV. Oh, was it that bad? I know it. Shooter and like team-oriented games, like I would put it almost in the same realm as like League of Legends, almost, where you have like no matter how good you are, you're still somewhat reliant on like how good your team is, and there's sometimes they're just not going to be good at all, and so it can definitely be trying. Rivals is MOBA level of triggering for me. I can see it. I haven't gotten to that point, but I'm also in like high gold, low plat, and so I think the higher up you get, the worse it probably is going to feel, and the lower. I know in bronze it felt really bad. It was really challenging to get out of bronze because it felt like everyone wanted to be the main player and just run off from the team and not kind of tackle the opposing team together. Is Wiccan worth 6,000? I would say it is, but I would also put the caveat of probably wait until after the next set of patch and over the airs to know if it's going to get nerfed or changed. And then horror story, you poor broken man. Yeah. Unfortunately. Okay, we do get the cap in the left lane. So Wiccan... Wait, we only need like a Pim arrow. Then we can go like Wiccan Hydra Bob. I think we call it good. The only problem is if we snap the Hydra Bob away... This one moves first, and then this one would have to backfill the left one. I think we're fine to do that. And then Fizzy Q, thank you so much for the resub with your Prime for 6 months. Oh, it's a bot. Big Daddy, thank you. What's a bot that almost hit infinite? It's been snapping Midnight Suns for me. Super engrossed in the Marvel right now. Yeah, I think Marvel has a lot of pretty good games of like varying genres. So it has it has Snap, it has Rivals. Midnight Suns is more of it's a fighting game, right? And so I think they have a lot of like really cool games for the different genres to kind of hold the franchise together and kind of draw people in that maybe wouldn't play those otherwise. With all these powerful 4-inch cards, I'd look for Zabu to get some sort of nerf again. Possibly, yeah. The Rivals has a problem of League of Legends right now. Huge player base that wants to be the main character. Yeah. Yep. Everyone, I can't tell you the number of games I've locked into that it's 3 to 4 DPS, and then it's left with like 1 tank or 1 healer. It's a turn-based card RPG of sorts. Oh, really? Might need to check out Midnight Suns. I've heard good things about it. I just never actually made it to check it out. And then GVP, welcome in. I'm doing well. Hopefully you're doing well as well. And then Zachary, hey TLSG, haven't seen you in a bit. Oh wait, I already read that one a while back. And then Ryan, hey TLSG, hope you're doing well. What do you think of the new cards this season? There's a couple of cards that I'm looking forward to. I think it's... I don't know. I think a lot of the cards that are coming up could be pretty interesting to see if they make like a big shakeup or if they change the meta in any kind of meaningful way. Do you think HB needs to take a hit? HB. I feel like it's a little bit overblown. I mean, in a great player's hands... Oh, Hydra Bob. I feel like Hydra Bob is a little bit too flexible at this point, yeah. Like, I think it probably deserves to take at least a hit in some way, shape, or form. Like, I don't think it's game-breaking, but I think for how flexible it is, it feels like it slots into almost any deck pretty well. I think for a 1-cost card, it's a little bit, like, overbuffed. And then Mr. Kitty, I took last season off, is Doom 2099 worth tokens. Doom, I think, is a really strong card. Ah, we lose the Ajax. We lose to the Ajax. I think the Doom 2099 card is really, really strong. I think where it struggles is that it takes up a lot of your board space. And so you're going to struggle a bit with We don't have Prio, so the Eliath isn't huge for us. They could potentially hit us with like a Juggernaut. We also have the Luke Cage. So we could bring this back down to what, 7? Time to rework Adam Warlock. I agree. Adam Warlock needs something. He needs some love for sure. We might lose this one. Gotta play Cage. I don't know. Luke on Warrior Falls. Luke on Warrior Falls would get killed. But without the Eliath, I don't know that we win mid is the problem. I feel like Luke Cage is probably not the right play here. But we're going to give it a shot. Malekith is scary. Maybe it was the right play. Big Pim arrow to the right. Psylocke in Warrior Falls. It's going to die, but no, it was the right call. Appreciate you guys. Cage over in the sewer system. Yeah, I was thinking this lane would be the one that was challenging to overcome. Because had they put like the Malekith here for 6 power, and then whatever it pulled, I think it would have been a lot easier for them to overtake this one. I don't recognize that card back. Which one? Ours? Or theirs? Oh wait, theirs is the basic one. This Phoenix Force one was from when Phoenix Force was released. It was in the I don't know if it was the season pass or if it was for hitting Infinite that season. But it's one of my favorite ones. They need to revert the Taskmaster change to 5. Yep. They definitely killed the Shuri Sauron stuff with it. I have a hard time imagining that whatever combo it was broken to the point where they needed to make him a 6-cost card. Because I feel like at 6 costs, he's pretty much dead. And then OG Holot said, there he is. Happy to see you back streaming. Haven't caught you in a minute. I haven't been live in a minute. It's been a while. So with the holidays and traveling to visit friends and family, it's just been it's been pretty hectic. And so it's been a while since I've been live, but I have the stream today. I'm going to do one tomorrow, I think Monday as well. And then I think that should lead us into drops. And so the next couple of weeks will be pretty heavy for streams. Yeah. And yeah, I feel like Move is becoming more and more like frustratingly good. Oh no, the Shanna could rob us. No, it's fine. Yeah, we can, unfortunately. Yeah, I'm not sure if he would get played in the shells we would want him to be played in either. Let's go Gwynpool for now. We can curve into Galacta next.
Hey, welcome. It took you long enough.
Alex JK today, welcome in. Thank you so much for the Prime sub and the support. Very much appreciate having you here. Would be great if Warlock has synergy with Thanos or Tribunal. Just anything that gets him, like, it has viability. I feel like at 5 costs, he's less viable than he was before. Although it might revive Destroy, which has been non-existent almost. Which one? The, like, moving Taskmaster down? I guess it could. But I feel like Taskmaster was much more interesting to play around with at the 5 cost for sure. Because then your applications for him were pretty much wider. Now, at 6 cost, it's really tough to consistently slot him in. They got a big, red Hulk. We got Blue Marvel. So, I think we go... Maybe it's Rocket and Groot, Wiccan. Go ahead and play Psylocke as well. Hot take for sure. Wait, Cold Grits, what was the hot take? And Lewis, I'm doing well. Hopefully you're doing well as well, Lewis. 21 power. I don't know if we ever still win Necrotia, even with a Luke Cage, but it's a nice little addition. This goes up by 3, 4, 5, 6. I think we're fine. Blue Marvel left, Snap Bob to the right. We could. Even if they do Khazar here, which I think they're more likely to do Gilgamesh. Khazar would bring this up by, what, 2? So Blue Marvel plus the extra 3 that Blue Marvel's given us here should be enough. Oh, being better at 5. Gotcha. I gotcha. Ooh, big Valkyrie coming in. The Blue Marvel should be enough to bring us over that edge still, but the tricky enough. Plus the Luke Cage showing a lot of worth and a lot of merit between like negative affliction and things like Valkyrie to offset that power. Luke Cage is definitely earned his place. I feel Moon could be a backup option for Mr. Negative. Let's see. Moonstone, 4 cost, 6 power, ongoing, has the ongoing effects of your 1, 2, and 3. Yeah, I feel like there's going to be... it may take us a while to find it, but I feel like there is absolutely going to be some kind of like crazy strong Moonstone build that just like kind of breaks the archetype. I feel like it could be the potential like archetype creating type of card. Kind of like Living Tribunal. When Living Tribunal was released, it was awful. Like we couldn't find anything that was consistent enough to warrant wanting to split that power between 3 lanes. And eventually it got to the point where like it was a decent enough and pretty good deck at sometimes. Does Wiccan need a nerf change? Not saying I think he does. I'm honestly just curious about opinions. I think he does. I think he's like, as far as that like value slot goes, he is so strong. That I think he could probably use a bit of tuning. I don't know how you tune him though. It's kind of like Arisham. It creates the same problems that Arisham does in just giving you so much impact and value in those like that higher capacity of card output that you can do, that it's really hard to track all of those potential options. You said I just bought Wiccan yesterday and I've been playing this exact deck. This deck is so solid. This is probably the one that I'll run all the way to Infinite with. So a free Miles if we win this lane. We could do Wiccan. But I think to make sure that we win it, I think we'd go something like Rocket plus a basic arrow. Wiccan could be a 4-2 and still work. I agree. I agree. His power is like him having a big body. Like his biggest strength is giving you all of that extra energy and reach. Miles is already free with Groot. That's true. I mean, he's one cost with Groot, right? He's not free, but he's cheap. We do get the quick retreat. Yeah, free-ish. Close to free. Does Victoria hand work with Arsham? No, because those cards aren't created in your hand. They're generated in your deck. So similar to like Thor or Beta Ray Bill, those cards are created in the deck, not directly in the hand. So something like Hood works, something like Moon Girl works, but Arsham doesn't. Super Skrull is 4-2 and wins way less games than Wiccan. True. That is very true. I feel like we're going to give up the Gamma Lab. Since they have the one extra card and we don't have a way to like deal with them having 3 Hulks versus our 2, I feel like emphasizing a different lane is probably our only option. Any good subs for Bob and Rocket and Groot? So you could do any good like value 1 cost. That's going to get you some like priority or tempo early. You might be able to do like a regular Rocket and play it on the turn after Iron Patriot. It'd be a little bit less consistent. You don't have that flexibility. And then instead of Rocket and Groot, you might do something like Nocturne if you're really like lacking that movement tech, which I think sometimes with Iron Patriot you need. A lot of times it's going to encourage you to like flood and fill up a lane quickly. And so sometimes you need a little bit of flex to like move it out later on. Kitty Pride. Kitty Pride is also a decent one for like the Wiccan. Be able to make sure you have a 1, then it helps support or like even out that curve into like a 2 or a 3. And sometimes it can save you. So how heavy do we go in the vault? I think I'm going to go pretty heavy with the Apocalypse. Then we'll also do Maria Hill. Robbie said maybe second dinner does the pseudo nerf on Wiccan, taking a point of power off, scaring people away from it despite it not really touching his strong aspects. That happens a lot more often than I would imagine it would. So as long as they don't have a way to make us draw more cards. This goes down by 1, 2, 3. So it's 2, 4, 6 less. They go down to 19. And it would just come down to us winning this right lane. Uh-oh. Well, they're going to get us on this one. Oh, wait, maybe not. Very close. No. I thought they had us. The Wiccan was exactly what we needed. Problem with Wiccan is his energy buff. Yeah, it's the same thing we see with Arisham. Arisham, I don't think the randomness that the deck creates is like the worst part about it. I think the fact that it can curve into those higher impact cards earlier, I think is where like the struggle really comes from. And so I think Wiccan is the same. Getting that extra energy to be able to, slot into playing Alioth plus whatever else you have, I think gives you a lot of additional reach that's harder for the opponent to really pinpoint exactly how and where you're going to play. So Wiccan's gone, but we can get a double Gwynpool, double Iron Patriot will be nice. His setup makes him balanced. I don't know. I feel like he's been really hovering around the top slots for probably longer than he should. I don't think I would have even won with my buff Alioth. I thought you had us. I thought you had me with your Groot. I thought it was going to take you down, take my points down just enough. But I got very, very lucky. It was a very good game. I think we're going to do double crystal. I know it allows them to draw, but it's the only thing we can really do to pressure that Sinister London lane. If we could have won both left and mid, then these would have been super, super cheap. Can you get a card if your hand is full? No. Oh, from the Iron Patriot? Yeah, the card's already in hand. And so we just wanted to make sure we got the discount on it. And so both of these are... Oh, I guess we didn't need the double discount. Both these are free. As soon as Crystal figures out how to... how to weed through the not being able to actually draw a card. I like double Galacta a lot. Something like this. Then everything we play in this left lane is huge. It's +6 for everything we play. So next turn would be like just a Gwynpool. Then whatever else. I think we do have to look out for Shang-Chi though. The Wiccan and Luke Cage. Maybe we pull into the Alioth to stop a potential Shang-Chi. Either that or we try to drop Prio, but I don't think they're going to let us drop priority. And then Bullet, hi, nice to see you snapping. Thoughts on Victoria Hand? Victoria Hand is, if you enjoy like shield card generation style decks, I think she makes an interesting like Devil Dino deck to try to bring that one back into relevancy. And so she's definitely good value for a 2-cost. I think the like longer term question just becomes, ooh, they went ahead and spent Shang-Chi this turn. I think the more longer term question for it becomes, is her value enough to bring that deck into like relevancy against the other top tiers? And I don't know. I think it's a fun deck for sure, but I think only time will tell if it's enough to make like that hand buff, not hand buff, the hand size style of deck or the Dino style shield generating card worthwhile enough to run. But I do enjoy Victoria Hand. If you enjoy either shield Devil Dinos type stuff or like Moon Girl blood style stuff, I think Victoria Hand you'll get some value out of. So definitely not a bad card by any means. She's not Bruce level by anywhere close. All right, we're gonna let Hydra Bob snap into one of these other lanes.
Victory.
Never mind. We will take the 1 cube and go. We're almost up to 90. Started at 77. Let's look at what the stats are for the deck. I feel like they've super solid. We have the same thing we had last time. Only I don't think we snap into this yet. I think we snap into it maybe after the Iron Patriot. Since I don't want to potentially have to play into the Lechugia. Not even US Agent was Bruce Banner level in release. Yeah, like US Agent, like, at least it did something pretty interesting. Bruce Banner, it's just so hard to rely on his ability. Like it makes you susceptible to a Shang-Chi if it transforms early. Snapping into it with the chance of it like hulking out late always feels bad. So it just super unfortunate. All right, let's go Rocket and Groot.
Oh, snap.
Into a snap. They could potentially outpower us in the Iron Patriot lane, which, if they do, it's fine. You mean hulking out at all? Yeah. Yeah, it's like a 66% chance to like ever be able to hulk out. The Polaris is fine. Wait. Yeah. That's funny, but Dexter actually ended up with a pretty positive win rate with Bruce. I think my biggest issue with Bruce, like you can slot him into like a high Evo deck decently. I think he kind of synergizes with that deck pretty well. But outside of that, it feels like he will probably never have another home. Old Snowguard versus Bruce Banner. Ooh, what would you do? I want to say the Old Snowguard. At least you could potentially get value from it. Even though it was pretty bad value, you could still somewhat get some value. I'd say Old Snowguard over Bruce. And Dexter's a really solid player, so I think like that definitely factors in as well. Of like being able to like read and know when to snap against people. I feel like Dexter does a really exceptional job at that. So we have to look out for what? Arrow, Magneto, Cannonball. Oh, the merge. Oh my gosh. Well, I hope they don't have something to deal with that. I forgot about Our Lady of Saints. Woof. Okay, well. If they have a Shadow King, Shang-Chi, we are probably cooked.
I see.
Was not expecting a Heimdall, but take it. Not what I was expecting. But you said that's your deck? Is it really Graves? Or I get Grave Bees? I do like the idea of like a Heimdall shift. But knowing we already had 11 power here, it feels like leaving mid on 18 was risky. Heimdall lose game in this economy? In this economy. Oh my goodness. What a ridiculous set of stats. I'm gonna pull it on the screen and show you guys. These are my stats for the deck we're playing right now. So far in the stream, we've lost a game, a singular game, and won the other 21. Nuts. Absolutely nuts. Iron Patriot. And then Doctor, welcome back, TLSG. Thank you so much for being here. Hopefully you're having a good one.
Opponent snapped.
The 21-1. What RNG cost you the one? I actually don't remember which RNG cost me the one. Oh no, we're gonna lose the cloning vats lane. I feel like we retreat out of this one. I think we're gonna take our 1 up to a 2. They had a 1 and a 2. I feel like they probably have Rocket or Juggernaut and then Wiccan as well. And now this deck will be on ladder everywhere. My bad.
Escaped.
So few streamers left. Thank for not dishing us for rivals. So I haven't streamed any rivals gameplay, but I have been enjoying playing rivals quite a bit. I don't think that I'll ever create any content for it, but I do enjoy it right now. Because the first game that I really played like just an unhealthy amount of was well, it may have been World of Warcraft, but the one that I played the longest, for like the most prolonged period, it was several years, was Call of Duty. And so like shooters were kind of right up my alley. And so with it being Marvel IP, I've definitely enjoyed it a bit. It's a fine game, but looking at the homepage of Twitch and seeing no one streaming on Snap makes me sad. Yeah. Yep, I agree. I think some of that has to do with the state of Snap and just people checking out other games. I think it's also kind of a little bit of a perfect storm where the devs went on holiday, the meta has felt somewhat almost stale. It's not necessarily stale, but it's felt very the same for a couple months, which with Snap, one of the biggest draws for me was that it was constantly like rotating and changing. And so it feels like there wasn't as much like incentive to try to like crack open the meta, because it felt like you run Wiccan, you run Eliath, or you run one of the other kind of decks that we already have, and you're absolutely fine. So I think we go ahead and play our Eliath. We'll have a cheap backup Eliath created by Iron Patriot. Then we can pivot from there. Been a while since I caught your stream. Oni, it's been a while since I've streamed. It's actually been, I want to say, close to a month. Between the holidays and creating content for both Pocket and Snap, and I didn't want to burn myself out and feel like I was overextending, so I took the time back to really just enjoy spending time with family while I was there. And so I did a little bit of traveling to go visit them, and it was nice. But I am glad to be back. Why the loot cage? In our deck, I've been seeing a decent amount of like affliction, and then also just like the random one-off type of stuff. One cost Eliath is nuts. I agree. One cost Eliath is absolutely crazy. I almost want to drop it this turn in case we don't have priority, but we're gonna try anyways. So with the Ajax, like an Eliath, a Rocket, a Mysterio, I think we call it a day. Well, do we win the left lane if they do something big here? Because they do have Luke Cage intact. So instead of Rocket and Groot, do we ever go Luke Cage? Hazmat? Yeah, I'm thinking they might have a Hazmat. It's just, I was trying to figure out where we would need the extra. Shadow King, Hazmat. Okay. We could have also competed for nowhere, since we both had Luke Cages. But we'll take it. We'll take the 4. That's one of the things that's going to make Iron Patriot a little tough to deal with. Like some games he's going to give you a card that is just unimpactful, unmeaningful. Other games he's going to give you a really, really good resource. Not an awful variant from a premium. Not the best either. I beat a bot by 1 point to hit infinite this season. I don't deserve it. I mean, I feel like most seasons, my last game of the climb is against a bot. For whatever reason, I feel like most of the time it ends up that way. Pack, GG, very good game. Was that you, Pack? I got a 2-0 null, which was nice. I've gotten a 2-0 null, but there was no destroys being played. So it didn't really do a whole lot for me. But Pack, it was a very good game. Super unfortunate that I had double Eliath. It's one of those like tough things with Iron Patriot that it's just going to be so hard to really determine what that range of possibility is. Like there's no way you could have. But I'm grinding and getting brain fog. Especially on my climb to infinite. I feel like I do that a lot more. Where I'm like, I just want a big game. Like a big cube game to either make good progress or lose it, either one. Sometimes I feel like I just need something impactful. What if we go Hydra Bob, Iron Patriot, Snap? Because we want to try to press for having the lead in cloning vats to discount the White Tiger. Not that we're going to have much space for it. However, Black Panther is nice. You'd love to see a good Black Panther. I wanted one to go mid, at the very least. Let's go Wiccan for 4, which I think... they have a Gladiator, so we probably don't win this one. If they do Gladiator plus like a 1 cost, they might be able to stop this one from discounting the Black Panther as well. You said, honestly, to make the Guardians more viable, they should make them steal power. I think stealing power would definitely make them really, really strong, and would make them very viable. So with the Maximus Daredevil, we do win this one, which gives us the cheaper Black Panther, which out of the two, I would much rather have the cheaper Black Panther than anything. Could you explain Bob and Patriot interaction? Which one triggers first? So Hydra Bob moves after the turn is over. And so let's say we played Hydra Bob, Iron Patriot, and then snapped on turn 3. Turn 3, the lane would resolve. Iron Patriot, if Hydra Bob gave us the win there, would discount the card, and then it would move after. Because it moves after the turn. And so similar to other like end of game effects or end of turn style effects. And so it calculates it after the next turn. So after whatever turn it is, and then it moves after. So let's do Black Panther. Black Panther, Gwynpool, Hydra Bob. They can always snap on us if we do that. I guess they could snap on us anyways. Iron Patriot also moves after the turn. But Iron Patriot is a location effect, which triggers before card.
Wakanda forever.
Resolves. Resolved. Gotcha. Gotcha. So Big Ronin. Okay, yeah. Never mind. We were going to be able to do Goliath plus the Black Panther. Another good hit for Iron Patriot. I don't think we've ran into a bot in a while. This is nice. We'll also actually, we'll definitely be able to trigger the Wiccan, because next turn we can go Kate Bishop, which in 1/3 we could do the 2 cost plus the 1 cost from one of her arrows. Or we just have Rocket and Groot, which is also nice. And it's also a bot. So we might be able to we went from 77 to about 88 so far. Like an hour and a half. I think we only lost the 1. No, we've lost 2. We've lost 2 at this point. Go ahead and go Wiccan instead of like the Iron Patriot. I want to put as much power into the raft as we can. We can move Rocket and Groot out later. They have an infinite border, not a bot. Really? Maybe they're just pretending to be a bot. Mobius, yeah. At least we have the extra energy from Wiccan. Nice. So it's not a bot. Yeah. If we could have gotten the free Goliath, that would have been really nice. But even still, I think it's okay. Ooh, Devil Dino was going to be pretty big, but the Goliath said otherwise. That's super unfortunate. So I think Goliath to the right plus like an Iron Patriot or Kate Bishop to the left. Sub for Bob. A sub for Bob, you could probably do, honestly, another 1 cost, but just like a strong 1 cost. I know some people said Kitty Pryde, so that you could still potentially draw into like the Maria. I don't really care for the Quicksilver. That feels like it leans too heavily into Wiccan, but it wouldn't be awful either. But like a Kitty Pryde or just another, like, just good tempo 1-drop would be okay. This deck seems really good and really strong and versatile despite having almost no tech. Yeah, I think the biggest tech for it is the ability to do your Goliath, because that resolves a lot of issues a lot of the time. Do we think Iron Patriot wins in Miniaturized Lab just off the rip? Because we're not going to be able to follow up on their next turn. Maybe they can't play there. Ah, they could. But I guess unless they can generate a card. Martyr could work. It might stab you in the back late. But it would definitely give you that like tempo to do the Martyr into the Iron Patriot to make sure that you win that lane. I think it's just a guessing game of where they play. Because Strange Academy is just going to shift over into the Avengers compound anyways. They do scale enough with the Collector, and so we're not going to get the discounted Ultron. It's okay. If it made their play line like awkward at all, then I think it was worth it. We could try to jump up for an Alioth on turn 5. Kind of think we go for. Because that could stop a potential like Devil Dino. Might make their follow-up a little bit more awkward as well. Big Victoria hand. And they have the Mirage, they have the Maria, and the follow-up Maria that was created by the Mirage as well. We don't have priority, so Alioth is off the table. Snap to move Bob. That's what I'm thinking about. So we can do it here to protect from Strange Academy capping out this lane. We'll be able to play in both of the other two. It's just, I don't know if we're favored in this one, so I was wondering if it was even worth it to try and do it. I think this board needs more Marias. I agree. Super Hoove, you said, dude, I played you the last day of High Voltage. And I was running the cheesy Black Panther Zola deck to get the last few items, and I felt so bad. Was it the one where I think I hit Kang and I had to reset through all of the triggers of Black Panther? If so, that's all right. I wasn't mad at you. Do we have priority now? We do. Beautiful. I think it just becomes an Alioth in mid to stop any kind of like Devil Dino or any other big shenanigans. I don't think they're going to be able to scale the right lane with the Collector enough. And so I think this is just... What a bold stay. Why the base Galacta? I don't know. I just haven't changed it. I could change it. It's not that big of a... I think I unlocked it, and by the time I unlocked it, I wasn't like actively playing Galacta. Nearly lost to pass. What, they did? Yeah, the extra support that they added into mid was kind of questionable. But a win is a win. I'll take some cubes. Yeah, them streamer. Yeah, we are absolutely pumping. Also, I don't feel like I get incredibly incentivized by borders, because I know for a fact that I'm gonna have analysis paralysis, similar to like a Final Fantasy, where I don't use my potions or don't use my revives or don't use my items because I don't know when I'm gonna need them. And I just don't know where I would want any of these borders. And so they just sit and collect dust. Unfortunately. There's some cool ones. I don't know what card I would warrant it enough. I hoard them too. It's a collection aspect. Yeah. You aren't RPGing, right? If you don't finish with 99 potions, Phoenix Downs, etc. Yeah, exactly. Like the entire game, I hoard them because I'm like I never know if a boss is gonna come around that I'm gonna need them, and so then I get to the end of the game and I have like a full stack of them left. They went Maria. We should be able to. We don't want to snap until after next turn though. That way Hydra Bob can do the heavy lifting. That habit got bad in Skyrim. Yep. Yep, I kind of hoard everything in those games. So when I played through not Stardew Valley. When I played through Terraria, I kept like everything. I'm sure a lot of it was just junk or trash. But I felt the need to hold all of it. Oh, another Alliath is nice. I think we do Kate Bishop, Zabu, and then a snap to move the Hydra Bob. Hydra Bob will move after Murder World, and so we're safe from it getting destroyed. You pull a lot of random Alliaths. The last several games, it has been a questionable amount of Alliaths for sure. You just explained. We blocked the acid arrow. Beautiful. You just explained my whole philosophy. I hoard borders and other things in other games because I feel like I'll regret it later. Yep. I feel like I'll put it on something and then never play it. So like the first one that we got, I think was a lime green border, or a neon green. I put it onto Mysterio and then promptly never play him. So if we went over here, I think we just Galacta into the Superflow. And then we can just stack big in the left. And then Conkles, thank you so much for resubbing with your Prime for 3 months. Very much appreciate having you here. Hopefully you're having a great day so far. It's not just that you in the game with them. Even it's that you in the game and reflect and are like, this would have been easier if I'd used these potions more. Yeah. Yep, you get to the end and like there's some fights where you either struggled because you didn't use them. Yeah, and I've tried to get better at it. I know myself and I know I always hoard them. All right, let's go Gwynpool plus Grapple Arrow. We can probably finish it off with Goliath plus Rocket and Groot. Have used 0 border so far. I also suffer from borderitis. Yep. I used, I think, 2. And I used a handful of like the matte blue because I wasn't really blown away by those. I think 11 in the left is fine. Let's go with this.
Victory.
To show them why they could have never won. Yeah. It's a lot of power to throw down on that last turn. I feel like this has been the smoothest climb I've had in a long time. I wish like a traditional card collecting game, you could trade variants with players. That would be nice to have some kind of trade, but I think people would run multiple accounts or abuse it in some way, shape, or form. 2 Goliath in hand is requisite to play both. That's true. If they're both in there, we have to make sure we cover both lanes. But yeah, they'll never allow it. 1 8-cuber to get 500 gold. All we need. And with the raft, if we can find a 2 cost or even another 1 cost, which is pretty good odds. It's what, 5 out of 7, and we missed it. Then we could do the 3 into the 4, or the 2 to the 3 to the 4. Oh, it's unfortunate. BK Ultra may have us. Get a Patriot of our own, but I think it's honestly too little too late for him. We can do Rocket and Groot, knowing that we'll later move it out. We could do the Iron Patriot, but I think we focus more on winning what we can. The copycat was Maria Hill, which is not bad for him. Plus the free 6 cost card is going to be really good. Let's go Gwynpool into, I think, Galacta plus Zabu. Well. Red Guardian definitely hurt. They have the Red Skull. It's a big Red Skull. How heavy do we need to play into Valley of the Hand? We can always snap after, but there's a chance Hydra Bob goes left. Can you help pick an S5? I can give it my best shot. This one's not looking great. Our hand here is not looking fantastic. You can't really win if they get the rafts. Yeah. I don't think we can. Unless they get something really bad from the raft, which we won't know for sure. Oh, Negasonic is interesting. It's Jover. It is so far over. It's not even funny.
Escaped.
I just made the decision to quit. Wish there was a way to give away a 34,000 collection level account. Who knows? Maybe he'll come back at some point. What are we thinking about Iron Patriot? I think he's really good in like a value style build. He's created like, I think the disproportionate information that he creates is pretty strong. Like there's some games where, oh, well, we just hit an ad. But there's some games where he'll give you like an Alioth that you end up using for really cheap. Other games, he ends up dropping like a null that's going to be 0 power at the end. So, and then Small Bloke TLSG, haven't heard that name in a long time. Welcome in, Small Bloke. Small. Welcome in. Hopefully you're having a great one. It has been a little bit since I've streamed. So they have the Quicksilver. I don't think we snap this one because they could very well have a double trigger of Wiccan, as long as they have a 3. Would you get Wiccan, Red Guardian, or US Agent? I would say Wiccan would be the one I would get primarily. It feels like a lot of his decks have really floated around like upper infinite for a while, but I would have to add a little caveat to that of we don't reveal until next turn, and so they're going to be able to get the Wiccan without us hitting them with an Alioth. I think we retreat out of this one. I would say before making like the full commitment to buy one, wait to see what shakes up from the next patch and over the air. Because it's been a month since we've seen any changes, so I'm wondering if we'll see like a hefty list or not. I'm gonna take the 1 loss. It feels bad, but we're gonna take it.
Escaped.
Zon Aster said it. We haven't had an origin in a while. We absolutely haven't had an origin in a while. So it sounds like it's about time. Do it. We'll do it right after this one. Red Guardian OP. Red Guardian is also really, really strong. Like he completely breaks Dracula. At worst, he's a 3/5. A 3/3 if for some reason you play him without them having anything in a lane. Hydrate first. Georgie, I appreciate you. Go ahead and go Kate Bishop. Well. We're trying our best to fight for their Iron Patriot lane. It's just not working well. We ever drop a rocket and Groot there? I think they'll be forced to play there. Oh, Luke Cage is nice. Completely counteracts our rocket. Unfortunate as that may be. Let's go ahead and go Wiccan. We have a Luke Cage of our own to throw down. Did you get angry? Did you get angry at your headphones? No, you would think so, right? No, there's just a plastic piece, so like where this piece like pivots, I laid it down after playing and came back and it was just snapped. And so I must have like laid it down. He threw them at Marvel Rivals. They did break right after I played Marvel Rivals, so I mean, I feel like it's only a fair jump to assume that I broke them. What if we go something like this? Your poor headphones. I know. I need to either try to use glue. I thought maybe duct tape could hold it tight enough, but I need to maybe try glue on that piece that pivots to hold it like tight and straight. Rivals TKO, yeah. Get the Galacta buff. Oh, did I play Galacta after? Yeah, meant to play Maria Hill first, but oh, the Red Guardian. Poor Rocket and Groot. He always gets slapped around. All right, so Luke Cage brings it up to 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12, 12. Then we still fill and try to put a little bit extra here. You said between Moonstone and Victoria Hand. I think Victoria Hand is going to be more consistent value. So if you like Shield or Colossus mid, ooh, with the buff, true. Oh wait, let's see. This goes to 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We need the Galacta bonus in the left lane on the Luke Cage to be able to win that left one. And so I think Victoria is going to be more consistent value. I think there could be a potential deck with Moonstone that ends up being just like a game breaker. But we don't quite know if that's going to be the case or not. I feel like it could be like a Living Tribunal where it releases and it's really, really bad until we break it open and figure out a build that works for it. What cards are must-haves in this season? I don't know. I feel like a lot of them are really cool, but they're also a little bit... I don't know that any of them is going to like take over the meta. So I don't know. All right, and so Zon Aster, before that last game, redeemed a TLSG name origin. And so there's a lot of meanings or stories about what TLSG means out there. But there's only one true story, and this one is the true origin. So whenever I was younger, I've always been like a little on the nerdy side. So I've always really enjoyed like video games, and really more so being able to understand how like a fight works, or how, so Zelda in particular, so like to know how the dungeons were laid out, where the secret items were, like those games where most people just kind of, even if they make it through, they don't find like all of the hidden gems and things that were kind of tucked away and hard to find. Well, being nerdy, whenever my parents used to take me to the store for shopping, it was a different time, but I would run off to electronics. I would hang out in electronics the whole time they were doing like grocery shopping, and then they would just come by whenever they were ready to leave. While I was in electronics, and it may be dating myself a little bit, there used to be all of these magazines that were like, sometimes maybe not even magazines. Sometimes there were just official big booklets that were like strategy guides for certain games. So like Banjo-Kazooie, being able to figure out all the puzzle pieces, Zelda, Pokemon, they had them for just about everything back then. And so like I would spend time kind of looking through those, and I was able to like really quickly absorb a lot of that information because it was something I found pretty interesting. And so then when I'd be over at my friend's house, or I'd be playing it later, I'd be able to like retain and like find those hidden pieces of information, or kind of guide my friends to like where the hidden items were. And so they started calling me the living strategy guide, because I like read through them so much and so often that I kind of retained all of that information and was able to kind of pass it on. And I didn't mean to. It was just something where I was like, this is really cool. It's something that I'm interested in. And so they started calling me the living strategy guide, which later on, as we got a little bit older, I shortened it to TLSG. And I've kind of ran with it ever since. Going into my first online game, I plugged in TLSG because the living strategy guide was way too long for like a game handle. And so TLSG is short for the living strategy guide. How I said, I heard a TLSG origin and stopped everything to listen. Did the same thing as a kid, except I used to like playing the demos a lot too. Like I would play the same like one level that they'd have loaded up on the demo, like the entire time as well. One day we'll get the real one. I mean, who's to say that we haven't had the real one already? Maybe it's just mixed in with all the other ones. I have told the real one before, yeah. Did you have an original name before TLSG? So like just like a different game name? But which one is the real one? See, that's the part that I find the most amusing, is that we'll never truly know. Be honest, it's the sandwich one. It is. It's the sandwich one. We couldn't top the sandwich. His real name is Barbara. It is Barbara. My actual real name is Justin, but Barbara for short. So with him running Doom, we just need to be able to beat about 25 to 30 in a lane. And we might be able to do that with like a Galacta, Wiccan, Hydra Bob, whatever else is a finisher. Just in time, just in case. I've also used that one quite a bit. And this Justin, I I think all of my bad dad jokes really probably started with my name. Gonna call you Babs? Absolutely platinum. If you want to call me Babs, I have no qualms against it. We can go Wiccan Hydra Bob. Be able to double up on the extra power. The problem with the... I'm glad we don't need the actual Wiccan ability. The problem with Doom 2099 is that it's very... It puts out a very consistent amount of decent power, but it has an upper range of what it can do. So at this point, the upper range of this one is going to be, what, 35 if they do a Blue Marvel? So we'll be able to make sure this goes here and here. We should be fine. Someone called for bad dad jokes. Someone called for bad dad jokes, and I launched my stream right away. Do you have a different gamer name before TLSG? I did. I had a different gamer name on Call of Duty. The problem with Doom is that it's quite possibly the most boring card ever made. I don't know. Makari is pretty boring. Definitely not super exciting. Why S4 Dakin in the season pass? I don't know. I don't know if maybe they're looking at reshaping the way that the card acquisition system plays out, or what. But Makari can go anywhere. The excitement. I guess that's true. That's also true, Moscow, is that Makari is not the centerpiece of it. And then you said, ironically, Sinister London isn't as good for D2099 as it seems. Yeah, it seems like it would be great, but it becomes kind of an issue pretty quickly. With space being a really limiting factor. How long has it been since you've seen a bot? It's been a while. I thought Commander earlier was a bot, but I think they were just pretending to be a bot. Ooh, the dupes don't count for her buff? I didn't realize that. Poor Pim Arrow. We do get a big Orca, though, which is nice. Let's go Wiccan. And maybe we throw Goose in the left because of his win rate. Yeah. How do you know Pot Ripper isn't a bot? They're in an alliance, and their name is Pot Ripper. I feel like the devs they might make a bot named Pot Ripper, but I would hope not. What, like a Gwynpool Rocket? I think we leave it there. I was kidding. But they're named, yeah, they're named too. Anti-Venom's pretty big. Iron Patriot plus whatever's here. We lost our Goliath. They lost their Hazmat though, which is also kind of fun. A massive Orca. Oh no. Iron Patriot was caught in the loop. Alright, so... Galacta... Psylocke... Orca... Goose... Oh, we already snapped. I don't know, guys. This could be a bot still. It could be. Alliance Infant Avatar name. Yeah, yeah. It also could be Luke Cage and then Malekith. That's true. Which would be really unfortunate for him because it's Isle of Silence. Welcome in, Mike Dot. I don't have 20k channel points, but I'm redeeming a Pot Ripper origin story anyways. I don't know how their name I don't know how their name was even the streamers bot sometimes. I agree. Everybody's bot. All right, let's go ahead and start with... I'm going to start with Hydra Bob, since we do have a turn 2 play in the Psylocke. I can take a pretty good guess how Pot Ripper got their name. I mean, I don't think it would take too much of a leap. For sure. I'm a real person in a real place. Just don't make me type random letters into a box to prove it. There was one year where we got my son some like Roblox like gift cards, and redeeming those things. They weren't just the normal like type letters into a box. It gave you like 10 seconds to do like 5 math problems that I was struggling with just with the speed of it. I never wanted to redeem another one ever again. So we could force for the raft resource here. And then snap to move the Hydra Bob out. Yeah, I think we'll do that. They're running an Iron Fist, so the movement deck is a little bit scary. But I think between the raft resource, between Iron Patriot next turn, we might be okay. Which images contain a motorcycle? Sometimes my anxiety takes over because there's like a little like little pixel in the bleed over that I'm not certain that they know is a motorcycle, but I know that it is. Contains an ivory fire hydrant. Yeah, there's some of them that are they're a bit ridiculous. Let's go Wiccan plus Iron Patriot. Actually, I'm gonna let Galacta buff Iron Patriot just to keep it below Shang-Chi range, or pick all the cars, and then it's a picture of a truck. Yeah, and so then I start second guessing myself of, like, do they mean regular car? We got another randomly generated Eliath. I'm not complaining. It just feels crazy to me. Blob pretty much eats the whole deck. Yeah. Yeah, he'll be able to just kind of bring home whatever else is left, but... So they move Human Torch. Do they ever do Beast? Wait. The last card they played was Human Torch, yeah? So they can move it into a Frigga? Streamer's bot confirmed, yeah. You can sub out your actual Eliath for Red Hulk and just play the generated per game discount Eliath. Yeah. I'm thinking of burning it early, though. Last card was Madam Web. Oh, was it? It's just a guess of if they're going to pick up the cards, do they pick up the Toxin as well? Oh, no. Well, I guess they only played in the right, so that's fine. It is a big vulture. You could have a Heimdall to shift everything, right? The Murica Goliath is so funny. Yeah. I mean, we get a full-powered blob. Between the Goliath, Gwynpool, and Luke Cage. What if they have a Heimdall that shifts the Human Torch over into 32 power, and so we would lose over there? The problem is if they don't move anything out of the Madam Web lane, then this loses. Still gonna try it though. Or I guess if they have Goliath left, could be a problem. Blob mid. They are in Heimdall. Blob may be better not getting the buff. Ah, well. We're not going to be big enough with the 32, I think. Or the... Maybe. Maybe it's enough. Oof. Super close. We we needed it to pull exactly in this order. So the 6, then the 3, and then the 9. No, I guess any order that it pulled it would have been okay. No, if it did Goliath and Gwynpool back-to-back, it would have stopped lower. What did Blob eat? Blob ate the only remaining cards in Gwynpool, Luke Cage, and then Goliath. And he was able to go a little bit over the 13 because of the order that he ate him. Had he did the 9 power, then the 6, it would have stopped there. It wouldn't have been enough. I'm sorry, did he pull a 369? He did. He did pull a 369. It's definitely fine. Our luck today is unmatched. So we get the 500 gold. I kind of like the card back. Kind of like this one better, though. What is it? Iron Man's lunchbox? Yeah, I kind of like it, but at the same time, I kind of don't. Like, it felt like it had a little bit too much going on, maybe. Any card backs this season clears last season? Yeah. I only get to infinite on the ugly card backs. Oh no, Foster. They were all the same. Yeah, yeah. All right, I'm going to run to the restroom real fast as the ads run. And we're at 93. We've made some really good progress. Be right back, you guys. The new Thanos in shop is so good. I love how tiny his head is. Okay, I gotta look at it. Like a lot of the bundle variants that they've been coming out with, I like. But I'm just not spinning. Oh my goodness, his head is tiny. I do like the flare off of the stones. I like that. But his head is really, really small. I wish the stones had some alt art. Me too. He snapped half of his head size in the art. And then Lucky Flip, thank you so much for resubbing with your Prime for 4 months. Very much appreciate having you here. I got this from, I got this variant from a premium mystery variant as well. I thought it was pretty nice. For a card I'm not planning on using a whole lot. Kind of enjoy it. So when I do use it, it'll definitely be this this variant. Been a while. Hope you've been well. I've been doing well. The holidays were really, really busy. And so I haven't been able to stream as much, but the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be streaming pretty heavily. They said token card would have variants, and then only did it once with I think it was just with Squirrel Girl. What in the Beetlejuice is wrong with Thanos' head? I don't know. He snapped half of it away. All right, so we're not gonna get all the way to infinite, but we had a really, really good climb. But let me look at the final stats we have on it. There it is. I lost it for a second. The final stats I have on the deck for our climb so far was 34 games. We lost 4, won 30 for a 88.2% win rate. We have I do have a sponsored segment that we're gonna transition into for a couple hours for you guys that want to hang around. It's for Watcher of the Realm. And it's a PC download. I think they also have it on mobile, but what they're specifically looking at doing has been on PC. And so we're going to switch over to that. Let me update the title. I'll launch the game. And then I'll do that until the end of the stream. I'll be completely upfront with you guys. And then if you guys don't want to stick around for the sponsored portion, I'll be live again tomorrow on some more Snap. And so we'll finish off the Infinite Climb then. But for now, go ahead and do a little bit of Watchers of the Realm. So I'm also going to, for you guys on the YouTube side, I'm going to end the YouTube stream. And so if you guys wanted to check out the sponsor portion, just hop over onto the Twitch. I'd love to have you. But so that you guys aren't seeing this, or you don't see a thumbnail of Snap and then you come into Watchers of the Realm. And then Zatoichi,